97% of older men have no idea what is actually happening when a younger or attractive woman asks them certain specific questions. These men think they're having a polite conversation. They think she is just being friendly. They think she is making small talk to pass the time. And meanwhile, she is sending him the clearest signal a woman knows how to send, the only way she has been taught to send it. And he is missing it completely. Tonight, I am going to walk you through the questions women ask when they are interested in you. I am going to explain why they ask them. I am going to explain what they really mean. And I am going to teach you exactly how to respond when you hear them, so that the next time a woman puts one of these questions in front of you, you do not stand there like every other oblivious older man, smiling politely and missing the entire conversation. Stay with me to the end, my friend, because the final question is the one that almost no man recognizes, and it is the one a woman only asks when she has already decided she wants something to happen. Let us begin the first question. So, what do you do for fun? You have heard this question 1,000 times. You have probably answered it 1,000 times, and I am willing to bet that 97% of the time, you completely missed what was really happening. When a woman asks you what you do for fun, she is not asking to make small talk. She is not running out of conversation topics. She is doing something very specific. She is auditioning your life for a role in hers. Let me explain what I mean. A woman who is even slightly interested in you is doing rapid internal calculations about whether your life and her life could overlap, whether spending time with you would feel exciting or boring, whether the rhythms of your existence could fold into the rhythms of hers without disrupting too much. And the fastest, most socially acceptable way to gather that information is to ask you what you do for fun. This is not small talk, my friend. This is reconnaissance. Here is where most older men fail catastrophically. They give the most boring answer in the world. They say, oh, I watch TV, I read sometimes, I work a lot, I see my kids on weekends. They give a list of obligations dressed up as a life. And in that moment, the woman who is leaning toward them silently steps back. Not because she has stopped liking them, but because she has just been told there is no room in their world for her to play. The right answer to this question is not a recitation of your hobbies. The right answer is a story. A small, specific, sensory story that gives her a glimpse into a life she might want to taste. Tell her about the morning ritual you have. Tell her about the bookshop you wandered into last Tuesday. Tell her about the wine you have been learning to appreciate. Tell her about the long walks you take when you need to think. Tell her about the project you have been quietly building. Make your life sound like something worth being part of. Because if it is, she will start imagining herself in it before you have even finished the sentence. That is what the question is really asking. Show me your life. Show me if I would fit there. Show me if I would want to. The second question, are you seeing anyone? This one seems obvious, my friend. And yet, you would not believe how many older men misread it completely. When a woman asks you if you are seeing anyone, she is not curious. She is not making conversation. She is not collecting demographic information about your life. She is testing the door to see if it is open. This is one of the most direct signals a woman knows how to send without breaking the social rules she has been raised inside of. She has been taught her entire life not to be too forward, not to chase, not to make her interests too obvious. So when she gathers the courage to ask you this question, she has already decided that she might want to walk through that door if you open it for her. And here is where the average older man dies a romantic death. He answers the question literally. He says, "No, not really. I've been single for a few years now." He says it flatly, without warmth, without invitation. He treats it like a status update on a form. And the woman who was leaning forward into the moment leans back and lets the door close gently between them. The question is not asking for your relationship status. The question is asking whether there is room for her. The way you answer this matters more than you can imagine. A confident older man does not just answer the question. He acknowledges the question. He smiles. He holds her gaze for one extra beat. He says something like, "I am not seeing anyone right now," which, depending on who is asking, might be a very lucky thing. That sentence does three things at once. It answers her honestly, it tells her you noticed why she was asking, and it returns the energy of the question back to her with interest. You have just told her, without saying it directly, that you are open, you are confident, and you have noticed her. That is the answer she was hoping for. Not the dry data point, the acknowledgement. A woman is not asking if you are available. She is asking if you can recognize that she is asking. The third question, how old are you? This question, my friend, is one of the most misunderstood questions in the entire male and female dance. When a woman asks an older man his age, the average man interprets this as a problem. He stiffens. He gets defensive. He tries to deflect with a joke. He says, "Oh, old enough to know better," or, "Let us just say, I have seen a few decades." He treats the question like a trap, and in doing so, he confirms that he sees his age as a liability. Here is what is really happening, my friend. The woman is not asking your age because she is trying to disqualify you. She is asking because she has already decided she is interested, and now she is checking whether the math works in a way she can accept. This is a crucial distinction. A woman who is not interested in you does not ask your age. She does not care. She is not mentally calculating compatibility. She is just being polite until she can leave. The very fact that she has asked the question tells you she is past the surface level. She is interested enough to want the data. And here is the most important thing. The way you answer this question is not about the number. It is about the energy you bring to the number. An insecure older man will give the number reluctantly, with a hint of apology. An old, defeated man will give the number with a self-deprecating joke. A magnetic older man will give the number with the same energy he would give his name. Direct, unbothered, almost proud. I am 56. I am 62. I am 49. Just the number, with a smile in his eyes that says, "And so what?" When a woman feels that you are not embarrassed by your age, something shifts inside her. She suddenly has permission to not be embarrassed by it either. The age difference, which she was holding tentatively in her mind, becomes something she can step into without anxiety. Because if you are not anxious about it, she does not need to be anxious about it either. The question is not really, how old are you? The question is, do you carry your age like a man or like an apology? The fourth question, do you live around here? This question, my friend, is one of the most beautifully disguised attraction signals in the entire conversation. On the surface, it sounds like geography. It sounds like she is just curious about the neighborhood. It sounds like she is making conversation about real estate. And 97% of older men respond accordingly. They tell her about their zip code. They mention how long they have lived there. They give her a tour of their commute. What they do not realize is that she is not asking about geography. She is asking about logistics. She is asking very subtly whether you live close enough that something could actually happen between you. Whether seeing each other again would be feasible, whether the distance between your life and her life is small enough to bridge. This is a woman who has already begun thinking about possibilities, and she is gathering the information she needs to know if those possibilities are realistic. Here is the tragedy. Most older men hear this question and miss the romantic subtext entirely. They give a dry, literal answer. Yes, I live in such and such neighborhood about 20 minutes from here. End of conversation. Door closed. The right answer is one that acknowledges her question while leaving the door wide open. Yes, I live just a few blocks from here. Actually, there is a wonderful little wine bar around the corner I have been meaning to introduce someone to. Or, I am about 15 minutes away, close enough to make this neighborhood my regular spot, especially if there is a reason to come back. Do you see what just happened in those answers, my friend? You answered her question and then you opened a door. You acknowledged that you noticed she was checking the geography, and you made it easy for her to walk through that door if she wants to. You did not assume. You did not push. You simply created the space for the next step to happen. A woman who is interested in you is testing the practical possibility of you. Show her that you have noticed her test and that you are inviting her to take the next step toward you. The fifth question. What do you do on weekends? This question is similar to the first one, but it is more pointed, more targeted, and it carries a very specific weight that almost every older man misses. When a woman asks you what you do on weekends, she is not asking about your schedule. She is asking whether your weekends have any space in them, any space for someone like her. A man whose weekends are completely full of family obligations, work commitments, ex-wife handoffs, and grandchildren visits is signaling without realizing it that his life has no room. A man whose weekends sound like an empty void of nothing is signaling that he has no life at all. Both of these are unattractive in different ways. The first man is too occupied. The second man is too empty. The right answer is somewhere in between. The answer of a man whose weekends are alive but not overstuffed, whose weekends contain rituals and pleasures, but also flexibility and openness. Tell her about the Saturday morning you spend at the farmer's market. Tell her about the Sunday afternoon you reserve for a long walk along the water. Tell her about the dinner parties you sometimes throw with old friends. Tell her about the new restaurants you have been wanting to try, or the museum exhibit you have been meaning to see, or the day trip you have been planning but have not yet taken. Do you see what this does? It tells her that your life has shape, that your weekends have texture, that you have places to be and pleasures to enjoy. But it also tells her that there is room that a woman like her could be invited into one of these rituals, or could become the reason you finally take that day trip, or could be the person across from you at that restaurant you have been wanting to try. A woman is not asking how busy you are. She is asking, is there a place at your table on a Saturday night? The sixth question. Have you ever been to such and such a place? This one, my friend, is one of the most playful and mischievous questions a woman can ask, and almost no older man understands what she is doing when she asks it. She might mention a restaurant, a bar, a neighborhood, a part of the city, a type of cuisine, a specific event, and she will ask you casually, almost as if it just occurred to her, whether you have ever been there. Most older men respond literally, yes, I have been there once, or twice, or no, I have never been. End of subject. What they do not realize is that this is one of the most direct invitations a woman can give without explicitly inviting you. She is dangling a destination in front of you. She is hoping gently that you will pick up the thread she has just placed in your hands. Here is what is really happening. She is interested in you, and she is shy about asking you out directly. So instead, she is mentioning a place she would like to go, and she is hoping you will be the one to suggest going there together. She is doing the romantic groundwork while preserving her dignity, and it is your job as the man to read the signal and respond accordingly. The right answer is never a flat yes or a flat no. The right answer is one that turns her question into an opening. If you have been there, yes, I have been a few times actually. It is wonderful. We should go together sometime. I would love to see your reaction to the place. If you have not been there, no, I have not been yet, but I have been hearing about it. We should go together. I have been waiting for the right person to introduce me to it. In both cases, you have done something powerful. You have heard the question beneath the question. You have accepted the invitation she was hiding inside her words, and you have made it easy for her to say yes by treating the next step as if it were already happening. A woman who mentions a place is mentioning it for a reason. Take the hint, my friend. Take it gently and take it confidently. She has just made the first move, and she is waiting for you to recognize it. The 7th question. What are you doing later? Here we are, my friend, the final question, the one I told you almost no man recognizes. The one a woman only asks when she has already decided she wants something to happen. When a woman asks you what you are doing later, your mind has to wake up immediately, because this is not a casual question. This is not idle curiosity. This is the most direct signal a woman can send without breaking every rule of feminine subtlety she has been taught her whole life. She has decided she does not want this conversation to end. She has decided she wants to extend the moment. She has decided she wants to find out if you, the man she has been talking to, would be willing to keep this evening going past the natural ending point of where you currently are. And she is hoping with all her heart that you will hear what she is really asking. The wrong answer is to tell her your evening plans literally. Oh, I am probably going to head home and watch a movie, or I have to be up early tomorrow, so I am going to call it a night. These answers, my friend, kill the moment instantly. They tell her that you did not hear what she was asking, or worse, that you heard it and you are not interested. Either way, the door closes. The right answer is to recognize the question for what it is and respond with confidence. Why? What did you have in mind? Or, that depends on who is asking. Or, my plans are flexible. What are you up to? Each of these answers does the same thing. It catches her question and tosses it back to her with a smile. It tells her, without saying it directly, that you heard her, that you are interested, that the evening can continue if she wants it to continue. And then you let her drive the next step. This is the deepest art of attraction, my friend. Hearing what is not said, responding to what is meant, letting her feel that you understood her even though she could not say it out loud. A woman who asks what you are doing later has already begun imagining what you might be doing later together. Your job is to make sure she does not have to imagine alone. So there it is, my friend, the 7 questions. The questions that 97% of older men miss completely. What do you do for fun? Are you seeing anyone? How old are you? Do you live around here? What do you do on weekends? Have you been to such and such a place? What are you doing later? Each of these is a door that a woman has cracked open for you, hoping that you will be the kind of man who notices, who steps through, who responds with the warmth and confidence she was hoping to find. And every time an older man treats these questions as small talk, every time he gives a flat, literal answer, every time he misses the subtext, a door closes that he never even knew was open. But here is the beautiful truth, my friend. Now that you know, now that you understand what these questions really mean, the next time one of them lands in front of you, you will not be like the 97%. You will be the rare older man who hears what is being asked, who responds with the right energy, and who turns a passing conversation into the beginning of something real. Women are not as direct as men want them to be. They never have been. They send their signals in code, the way they have been taught to do for generations. Your job is not to demand they speak more clearly. Your job is to learn the code. Now you know, now you can hear them. And the next time a woman asks you one of these questions, you will not stand there like every other oblivious older man. You will smile, you will hold her gaze, and you will give her the answer she was hoping for. The answer that opens the door instead of closing it. If this opened your eyes, leave a like. Subscribe for more conversations about the things nobody else will tell you about love, attraction, and the language between men and women. And tell me in the comments which of these 7 questions you have been missing. Until next time, my friend, listen carefully, respond confidently, and never miss the door she has opened for you.